Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and today we're going to make something that is more on the dessert side. Well, it's definitely on the dessert side, and it's something that I should have done a really long time ago, frankly, because it's so crazy easy to make. It's one of the most amazing and most requested desserts, and it's also one of my and Richard's all-time favorites. Guys, this is Creme Brulee. Now, if you don't know what Creme Brulee is, this amazing French dessert, that's fine, I'll tell you about it real quick. It's basically a really velvety, smooth, and rich custardy type pudding in a little ramekin, and then it's just simply topped off with an unbelievable caramelized sugar crust. And you're gonna see for yourselves how we do that at the end. It's so simple though, yet everyone loves it, and when you make it, they feel like they're eating something that's very much of like a luxurious type of dessert food, when, like I said, it actually takes very little effort to make at all. So guys, let's go to our pressure cookers and make some of the most unbelievably luxurious, top of the line creme brulee today. Alright, so the first thing to do to make our creme brulee is to add some heavy cream. And the easiest way to do this is to take a 4-cup Pyrex and to pour the cream in there. Now you have two options. You can either add in 1.5 cups of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of eggnog to give it a bit of a holiday flair and a little bit of extra flavor. Or you can simply just use 2 full cups of heavy cream, okay? So either 1.5 cups of heavy cream and 1/2 cup of eggnog, or 2 full cups of heavy cream. And now let's pop this in the microwave for about 45 seconds to give it a little bit of heat. Alright, let's put you in the microwave. I'm gonna go for 45 seconds. And now that it's done, we'll take our cream out of the microwave. Alright. And we'll just place that on our countertop to rest for a few moments. Now, it shouldn't be hot really, by the way. It should just be a little bit warm. Alright, we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, now I want to come down to my eggs. I'm going to take 6 large eggs, and I want to only use the yolks. I do not care about the egg whites in this recipe. I don't want to use the egg whites in this recipe. Only the yolks. It should be really nice and thick. Okay, so watch how I'm going to do this real easily. Okay, so there are plenty of methods to separate the yolks from the egg whites, but the easiest way that I found is to use this little guy right here. I got it on Amazon. It's an incredible yolk separator from the egg whites, and it just makes things so hassle-free and easy. Watch how simple. I'm just going to crack my egg and then just put it right in the top thing here. And also, look, I love how it rests on top of a measuring cup. It's so easy. Put it right in there, and then poof, look at that. All of the egg whites are going right into the measuring cup below, while the yolk is staying exactly where I want it. You can sort of just, like, you know, tilt it a little bit and make sure that all the egg whites come out, and then poof. Perfect. I have egg whites in the bottom, which I can save for something else later. I'll just cook myself an egg white omelet, and then I'm going to put the yolk directly into the heavy cream. And I'm going to do that with all of my eggs. And that's 6. And I'll show you that again because it's so easy and fun. Literally just crack an egg, put it right in the little holder here, or I should say separator, and it's going to spill through. And also you can just slosh it around a little bit, make sure all the egg whites just go to the little sides here and go out, and the yolk's going to be perfectly intact. And then look at that, all that extra egg white in there. I have 6 eggs worth of egg whites. I can make an amazing omelet, I can make some great scrambled eggs, I can make a meringue or a frosting. Whatever I want to do, I have it right there. I just poured my excess egg whites into a container. I'm going to pop a lid on it, and I'm going to pop it into the fridge and use it whenever I feel like it. Now I want to add in 6 tablespoons of sugar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. And finally, let's add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And now let's take a whisk and just whisk everything together inside of our little Pyrex here. Just do this for about a minute and make sure that all the yolks get intertwined with all the cream. And this is why this 4-cup Pyrex is so convenient, because you can not only microwave the cream in it, but then when you mix everything up in here perfectly, you can just pour it directly into our ramekins, which we're about to get to in just a moment. Alright, and after about a minute lightly whisking, I am now ready to pour this mixture into our ramekins. And now I am using 4 8-ounce ramekins. I feel like they're the perfect size for this. They make a really generous sized dessert. Not over the top large, but just the right amount in my opinion. So let's just evenly distribute all of our mixture into each of the ramekins. And you're going to fill all these up perfectly. You want to leave just a little bit of room at the top, and absolute perfection. Look at that. So now all we're going to do is, look at my lights reflecting onto this one. It's not like this one is like, you know, glowing or being called to some sort of alien ship, I promise. Okay, so now all we do is just put tin foil on each one. Or I should say aluminum foil, because people are like, what's tin foil? It's not made out of tin, it's made out of aluminum. So fine, aluminum foil. Just cover each ramekin with some foil. And try to make sure that the foil is always flush with the top. We don't want it dipping in and then touching the cream, just because we want the cream to look pretty and set. And now we're gonna put these guys in our Instant Pot. All right, so I wanna place my trivet in my Instant Pot and add in 2 cups of water. Now I want to lay my ramekins on top of the trivet just in this fashion, in a crisscross way. So I have the bottom level going like this. They're going to fit just fine, just a little bit of maneuvering. Just make sure that they're nice and straight in here. Perfect. And then layer the other 2 on top of the other 2 just in this fashion, like I said, crisscross. And then just be careful when laying them in the pot. We don't want them to tilt per se, but we want them to just rest comfortably on top of each other, and they will if you use the 8-ounce size, and then layer them just like I did. 2 this way on the bottom, and then 2 this way resting on the top, and they'll have the sides also to help them even themselves out. Alright, now let's secure our lid, make sure that we're in sealing position, and now let's hit the pressure cook or manual button, and we want to go for 15 minutes at high pressure. That's it. And now that the pressure cooking cycle is complete, we're going to allow a 15-minute natural release, meaning we do nothing for 15 minutes. The pressure is going to release naturally on its own, and this is going to begin to count up once we're done cooking, and once it hits 15, that means 15 minutes, then we'll finish it off with a quick release. And now that 15 minutes of a natural release have passed, let's do a quick release. And the pin drops, so we'll take the lid off. And we're just going to let those rest in the Instant Pot for about 5 minutes until they cool down a little bit. Alright, now that about 5 minutes have passed, I can take these out with my hands, or you can even use, like, you know, some mitts if you wish, but this is fine. Just take these out of our pot. Okay, and there we go. And now we're just going to peel our foil off. And lovely, guys. There are our 4 creme brulees all ready to sit in the refrigerator and chill. Alright. Okay, and you see how they're a little bit jiggly right now? That's perfectly normal. That's exactly how they should be, because we're going to set these in the refrigerator for a minimum of 4 hours at least. Overnight, in my opinion, for something like this is always best. And then we're going to take them out and we're going to put some sugar on the top and then caramelize it until it's the most decadent sugary crust ever. Now let's take this and pop it into the fridge. And there we go, all 4 of my ramekins in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours, but again, I prefer overnight. See you real soon! And 24 hours have passed. Although we don't have to wait a full 24 hours to take them out of there. 4 hours, again, is enough, but I like to leave it overnight. And as I take this out of the fridge, I'll look at that nice and firm. It's not going anywhere, no more jiggle. Let's set this on top of the table and begin to caramelize. And we'll put this on our countertop, nice and firm, just like a pudding would be. And I have 2 of them for now, because I'm going to do 2, because I'm going to do 2 different types of sugar toppings. I'm going to do one with raw sugar, like sugar in the raw, and one with granulated sugar, because I'm not really sure which one I prefer, so I'm going to try them both out. Alright, so with this one, let's start with the raw sugar. And I'm just going to take about, 1 to 2 teaspoons worth, and I'm really just going to sprinkle it all over the top to give it a nice crust, if you will, when we start to torch this. And really about 2 teaspoons will do the trick. We really want to make sure the entire top is covered in sugar. Alright, and that is looking great. It is now time to blow this. And we're going to do that using a culinary torch. This thing is super handy to have. I use it in my hot and cold chocolate marshmallow dip for toasting the marshmallows at the end. A real great thing and totally necessary for a creme brulee. I'll show you how to use it. So I've totally filled up my culinary torch with butane in the bottom. You just simply take a little can of butane like you use for Zippo fluid type stuff and just inject it in here. It goes right into this little nozzle and it fills up. And then to turn it on, at least in this model, which I'm going to link in the recipe where you can get it, you just take the little nozzle in the back and go from the negative to all the way to the positive. And this is the sensitivity to how much flame comes out. So if you want it like Liberace style, go all the way to the plus. It's going to be the most flames. And then on this model is a little child-proof or safety type button thing here, which is actually great. So you don't have to worry about any mishaps. I can't do anything unless I press this in the back. And then I'm going to begin to caramelize the sugar into an incredible crust. There we go. This is looking gorgeous. Gorgeous! Get all of it. You can totally go as long as little as you want. It's totally up to you, the sensitivity level. But if you also want to, you can also spin it around and get the edges It smells like a toasted marshmallows almost in here, but I think it's the beautiful top going on here. I love the color. We don't want to overdo it. We kind of just want to give it a little bit of love here on all sides. Just be careful you don't get your hands really in the way of the flames. But like this, guys, once you have it like that, it looks to me absolutely perfect. Just let that set for a few moments. So over the cool custody portion of the creme brulee, that's actually going to help it instantly solidify. It's perfect. And this is how it looks if you use raw sugar. Now let's try it with granulated sugar. Alright, second one up. And let's sprinkle some of that sugar all over the top. Kind of smooth it out a little bit. Just be very gentle when you do that. That's 1 teaspoon. And I really want to use like 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. I would say 2 teaspoons is actually more ideal for this. Just give it a nice gloss over the top. Alright, the stage is set and we are now ready to torch. Make sure that our gas nozzle's on, make sure that we click the safety. And by the way, if you wanted to go for an extended period of time without having to hold your hand on the trigger, you can click this thing and just let it go, on this model anyway. But I just like to do it so I'm always in control by triggering it. There we go. Get the corners as well, don't just get the center, get the corners. Alright, ooh, that's looking beautiful. I'm going to give it a little bit of a spin around here and get the other angle. And when you really want to do this, there's really no specific time limit. Just keep your eyes on it and then, you know, make your best judgment that way. Oh, that's looking great. Okay, I'm just going to get the edges once more. Alright, beautiful. So now as a side-by-side comparison, to my right I have the sugar in the raw style, to the left I have it with granulated sugar style. The one on the left gives it more of like a glossy look, where the one on the right gives it more of a coarse one. It's totally up to you how you'd like it, but let's try them out and see what we think. Now let's take a spoon and then just see the surface here. It's almost like an ice skating rink of sugar. It looks like that. It literally feels like that. Like if a little ant wanted to put ice skates on and skate across, whee, they'd be in heaven. And now let's take the spoon and look at this. Look at how it goes through, and look at that crust, guys. Look at that amazing, beautiful, oh my gosh, it's like crystal. Oh, I have to try this out. I mean, if I was ice skating on this and I fell through it, I wouldn't be afraid. I'd be swimming in custard. All right, guys, here it is, our beautiful creme brulee. Let's try it out. Heaven. I am in sugary heaven. Richard, come here. Let's see what he thinks of this. Now, Richard, what's one of your favorite desserts?
Creme brulee.
So this is kind of a true test here. First of all, there it is. What do you think? How does it look?
It looks good.
Okay.
Got a good little shingle going on top.
Try it out and let's see what this guy thinks.
Mmm. It was really good.
Do you know
the eggnog?
Yeah, you could taste the eggnog.
Taste the eggnog. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a nice little seasonal touch if you want to add some eggnog in with the cream. But do you think that's like a high quality tasting creme brulee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very deep.
Look, I gotta take this off. Look, I mean, look at this. Do you see the sugar? I mean, look at how beautiful the sugar looks. Got perfect, caramelized excellently. There you go. Put it back in there. Now, hang on. Let's try the other one. Tell me what you think of the other one. And here's our raw sugar topping. Let's see how we cut into that. It's a lot. Look at that. It's almost like a snowflake on the top. Let's try this one out. And I'm gonna bring this to my lovely, 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 beautiful cousin Denise, who lives in Austin. And she's visiting. So Denise, try out some of the creme brulee. Tell me what you think.
So excited.
Tell me what you think.
Look at that. Look at that texture. It's amazing.
Is it good?
Oh my god. The texture is perfect. The flavor is to die for. It's amazing. It's got like this sweet vanilla flavor. It's amazing. Job well done. I do have an Instant Pot and I will make it. Divine.
Alright, I'm gonna try this one first this time. I like the raw sugar topping.
Sounds crunchy.
I like them both. It's definitely crunchier, and it has more of a, I don't know what it is. It almost tastes more like a candy. It gives it a really nice crunch, I'll say that. But I also really love the white sugar. I mean, it gives it more of like a thin, like ice skating rink texture to the top, where this one is a little bit more like a, I guess more like a gravelly road, but it's like also very pleasant at the same time. It's really great to actually, if you're making creme brulee, get both sugars and try them out on each one. You can see, I really like them both. They're both delicious. But I think actually I'm gonna give my edge to the raw sugar.
I like that one, let's swap.
Oh, there you go. Well, I don't have a spoon now.
Yeah, you can do one.
How nice of him, right? He's so nice of you. Thank you so much. You know, sometimes you just like things raw. The creme brulee itself, the cream, it's basically like a very divine, very cool, refreshing tasting custard is really what it tastes like. It's really creme brulee is. It's not overly sweet or overly decadent tasting. It's very pleasant. It's almost like having a pudding version of like the Boston cream that you would put inside of a donut, but even more creamy and more pudding-like, or custardy. Really, really delicious.
Very creamy, very consistent.
Thank you.
Like, incredibly consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Soft.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect pudding.
It's like a great creme brulee. And this topping, again, look at this. I love the let's cheers our toppings. So we're gonna toast our toppings, just like Nomi and Crystal. Really good. Hey guys, if you enjoy these recipes, go to pressurelowcooking.com because a lot of people wanted more desserts, so you got more desserts with this recipe. Great for the holidays, great for really for any time of the year, great for special occasions. Go to facebook.com/pressurelowcooking and like that page because I have tons of, you know, updates coming out there. Whenever a new recipe drops, you'll see it there first. Anytime it's a sale on an item, you don't want to miss that. Anything that's funny in the world, I try to bring it there as well. And of course, at Pressure Luck, subscribe to me on YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. You know, thank you so much again, guys. And when you celebrate life, you might say hip hip hooray. But why not also do it with some creme brulee? Have a little bit more. Come on, I know you'd love it. I loved it.